Hello, Park kids and families. Whether you're watching this video as a review from Sunday morning or because you didn't make it here on Sunday, I'm just so glad that you're here watching it now. What you're about to experience is some worship so you can sing and dance and worship Jesus together, and then you will watch our weekly Bible story video. This video and the story changes every week, and it's the same video that we watch here at the Park Church on Sunday mornings. And then at the end, there will be some discussion questions that you and your family can discuss and dive deeper into the lesson together. I encourage you to do that as a family. Asking questions and discussion is how we grow in deeper relationship and understanding of who Jesus is. And then lastly, in the description below, there are some lesson bonuses like a weekly coloring sheet, and so I also encourage you to check that out. I pray that as you watch this video, that you grow together as a family in your relationship with Jesus. Take care and have a great week.
Hands up! Yesterday, I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my old ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again. Goodbye yesterday, I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my old ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again. Out of the
Hey, Louie Kablooey here. Kablooey! And I've got another amazing, true story. And it goes a little something like this. Never had a lesson. There was this guy named Abraham.
God told me I would have many sons and daughters, and their sons and daughters would have many sons and daughters, and their sons and daughters would also have many sons and daughters.
You're right, you get the idea. One of his grandsons was a guy named Joseph. Hi, I'm Joseph. Years passed, and a new king took control of Egypt.
Just look at all those Israelites. I'd better make them slaves if I don't want them to become more powerful than me.
The Israelites had to work super hard for Egyptian slave masters who were very, very cruel. Pharaoh thought he was hot stuff.
Oh yeah.
But he had no idea of what God was up to. You see, God had a rescue plan for the Israelites. They were his chosen people, and he promised to bring them out of slavery, and he knew just the guy to make it happen.
Hi, it's me, Moses.
Moses,
Yeah?
it's me, God.
Okay.
I want you to speak to Pharaoh on behalf of my people.
So Moses did what God said, which is always a good idea.
What's up, Moses? Well, God said for me to tell you to let his people go, so, want to get on that? No. Everyone will be forced to work harder.
Oh no! Understandably, Moses was more than a little disheartened.
God, Pharaoh isn't doing what you asked. He keeps making us work harder.
I promise I will free you and bring you out of slavery so you may worship as my chosen people, the ones who would bring blessing to the whole world.
But when Moses passed God's message on to the rest of the Israelites, they didn't take the news as well as he had. Even without the support of the Israelites, Moses and his brother Aaron went to see Pharaoh again.
Pharaoh, let my people go. No.
Aaron, show him that God is with us.
Eek! A snake! What do you say now? Gonna let us go? My heart has become hard, so no.
I really thought that snake thing was gonna work.
God showed his power through Moses and Aaron with a bunch of plagues. And after each terrible thing would happen, Moses and Aaron would ask the king to let the Israelites go. Like when God turned the Nile River into blood and all the fish died.
Let God's people go. Now.
When God sent frogs to come jump out of the river. Let God's people go.
No.
When God sent gnats to buzz their ears and then flies to swarm their faces and diseases to kill their animals, Pharaoh said, "No, no, no, no." But then God gave Egyptians really painful sores. He sent hail that destroyed crops. Then he sent locusts that ate any plant that was still alive. But Pharaoh's answer was always,
No!
God refused to give up. He made Egypt dark for 3 days, and Pharaoh said no. It was going to take one more plague to change Pharaoh's mind, and it's terrible it had to come to this. God said that the firstborn son of every Egyptian would die. But because he was doing all of this to save the Israelites, he told them how they could protect their sons. If they brushed lamb's blood on their doorframes, no one in those homes would die. And the Israelites were protected because they followed God's instructions. After God's last plague, Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron.
Let God's people go. Yes. Leave Egypt immediately.
God was, and still is, powerful. Nothing can stop him from accomplishing his plan. He promised the Israelites that he would free them from slavery and bring them out of Egypt, and they could trust that he would do it because God showed them his power. Wow! Yeah, there's no doubt about it. God is powerful. And just like he used his power to show his love for the Israelites, he uses that same power to show you love too. Whoo! Kablooey out.